Hi, everybody. Good morning. Here we go. I just got the question box ready. And all right, here we go. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this Saturday morning. I love to see you guys being active in your trading education on a weekend. I know that that could be a little bit tough. So I am very grateful that you guys are here with us today. So I am going to just get my presentation open and ready to go. I do love questions, so please send them over to me here in the question box, and I will make sure to get there to every single one for you guys. Hi, Thomas from Austria. Actually, where are you all guys from? I would love to know this. I am right now in the States visiting my family, but I live in Guatemala. So let's see how international our audience really is. That'll be great because trading is such a border-free place. Wisconsin, wow, Charles, that must be very cold. I'm in New York right now. Today we are in like the 60s, which is extremely unusual. So I'm loving this weather. Sri Lanka, wow, that is very cool. I don't know that part of the world. It is very high on my bucket list to know that area in Sri Lanka. I've seen and heard so many amazing, amazing things about that country. So welcome everybody. All right, let's jump in and begin. So hi everybody, I am Marina, the Trader Chick, and today I actually am talking about 5 steps. The fifth is actually like a bonus. So basically I will be talking to you guys about how to simplify your trading and mainly understanding the power of the breakout trade. So I want to show you how everything I'll teach you today can lead you to really successful breakout trades, which could really, really help in so many ways. So this is kind of a quick look at what I'll be covering today in the presentation. It will be understanding market movement, using your indicators for best entries and profit targets, identifying and profiting from the breakout trade and other setups, and scalping, how it has helped me become profitable and confident, most importantly of all. No matter what you'll do in life, if you're not completely confident in yourself and your system, it will be really difficult for you to become successful at it, no matter what you do, right? So just a quick background of who I am. As I mentioned before, I live in Guatemala. I am an expat in Guatemala, in Antigua. I don't know if any of you guys know Antigua. It is a UNESCO colonial city. It's really lovely. I love where we live, and this is my family. We mainly live there. Main reason was because my husband is Guatemalan, and we've just stayed there. It's beautiful. I love living there. I am trilingual. I was a refugee from the USSR 41 years ago, so I speak Russian fluently. It is technically my first language, but since I basically grew up in the United States, since then, English is more of my real language, right? However, I have Spanish is also, I'm fluent in Spanish because I've been living in Central America. We first lived in Costa Rica before moving to Guatemala. So it's been almost 18 years that I've been living in Central America, and it is now my third language. It's not my easiest language, but I could definitely get around, no problem. I'm fluent basically in it. So we are big travelers, my family and I. It's not something that we do as a luxury. It's almost like a necessity for me. So I really needed to build my life around that. I also teach entrepreneurship for kids class at my son's school because I feel that is a huge lack in our educational system teaching entrepreneurial skills. So I decided I almost volunteer there pretty much. It's not like my job. It's something that I just do from love for it. And with that, one year I was able to organize a TEDx with my son's class. This is my son right here, the middle guy. We put it together. So I was a TEDx organizer, and we put actually one of the only TEDx's in the world that was an outdoor TEDx. It was absolutely beautiful. And before I became a trader, I was a fitness instructor and a travel writer. And the reason why I bring this up is because a lot of times people think day trading is only if you have an economical background, a financial background, or a mathematical background. You don't need any of those. Truly, anybody can do this. It's all in the strategy and your mindset, which is really, really important. And this is actually, you can find me at travelexperta.com as well. I've been doing and running a travel blog website for over 10 years. This has been my first love. And then once this was kind of going, after I put in years of getting it up, and it's been the main source of my travels with my family as well. You can still find me there. I still write on there, and it's still a very active site. So I just want to show you that traders, once you get your trading strategy down, you could be multi-passionate, right? You could have multiple careers, multiple jobs, multiple loves, because trading at the end of the day, especially because how I do it, which is pure scalping, you will be done after an hour and a half, 2 hours. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's so cool. The reality is, it's actually a scientific proven thing. Deliberate trading or deliberate anything, you could only really handle about an hour and a half to 2 hours, because your mind after that really doesn't process, and you start to go in the wrong direction, which is where a lot of losses can happen. Okay, so basically what I want to talk about today are the 4 basics of day trading. It's kind of like if you can think of driving a car. Okay, if you drive a car, you have the basics down, right? You know where the accelerator is, you know where the brake is, you know where the steering wheel is, you know where the rear view mirror is, you know how to go forward, you know how to go in reverse, right? Those are basics. If you don't know how to do any of those, chances are you're not going to be able to drive a car, right? So in trading, it's the same thing. You have these basics, this foundation that if you don't have those down, chances are you are not going to be successful at trading, simply because you don't even know how like the basics work, right? So today I really want to focus on that. So we're going to begin with the most basic of all, which is market movement and the breakdown of a trend. A lot of people forget that with day trading, first of all, you need a charting software, right? A lot of people want to day trade and then just want to go and do a quick app on their phone. That will only get you so far, right? If you're a pilot, you need to have a real plane. If you're really planning on making day trading as your real thing, you need a charting software. So this is my charting software. I work with NinjaTrader. There are tons of different amazing charting softwares, but you do need one, right? So you need to understand how trends work. And a lot of times people forget there are 3 very important trends. You have the uptrend, the downtrend, and the sideways trend. And the uptrend and the downtrend are very understandable, right? This is going up, this is going down. However, the sideways trend is super important, because this is where a lot of times the majority of people end up losing money, right? And it's right here in this particular area. And I want to talk about that, because once you could spot a sideways trend, which has several different names that you might know of: exhaustion pattern, indecision area, consolidation, transition, however you want to call it, it's an area which would usually takes away the majority of your winnings, right? And once you spot it and know to stay out of it, you are going to be golden, and your track record will just be completely up leveled. Okay, so like I mentioned before, I am a scalper, meaning that I look for very small, quick moves in the market. So it's really important to understand when you have the overall momentum, which is like this. You know, you have a very specific uptrend, and then you see this mini trend right here. This is called an immediate momentum. And they're really important to understand, especially for scalpers, because you could profit from 1 or 2 quick trade moves here. So understanding that is also going to be super important and recognizable for the trader. Okay, so let's jump into a consolidation area, transition area. I call this area a trader's worst enemy. And once you learn how to spot them, you have to learn to avoid them. What do they look like? So you have an obvious strong uptrend going on here, right? And all of a sudden it comes to this flatness. right? So what happens in this consolidation area, in this flat area? Chances are you might try to get in once and then get subbed out, but if you understand and can read the signs already, you won't even get that far, right? So what happens here? So you have a strong trend moving up. And this is when I mentioned mindset, this is what happens. A lot of times, several things go on. First of all, they all pretty much boil down to we believe that we can beat the market or predict what the market is going to do. And the reality is we can't and we shouldn't. It is not our job as traders. We have to read the market. The market actually has a language. And I think maybe because I am trilingual and I have learned several languages on my own, and my last one being in my late 20s, I realized that the market speaks to me. And once I became fluent in it, meaning that I don't have to translate and really focus on every word it's telling me and just understand, made it so much easier. And you as well could do that. All it does is learning the words and then putting it into practice, and a lot of practice. So what happens here is we see this area coming up, and this is what I mean about mindset. So this is what I personally used to do. I see this uptrend and I'm like, okay, the market's been going up all day. It is gonna correct and I am going short. I am now looking for shorts. Why? It could still continue up. There's nothing that is telling me that it will continue down. What it is telling me is that right now it's taking a breather. It's in indecision mode. Or the other thing that we think, it's been going up, up, up. It is going to continue. It's got to continue. Again, why? It doesn't have to do any of those things, right? And that's why a lot of traders end up losing money, because we start to think we know what the market is going to do instead of just doing a very important position, and that is sitting out and waiting for real confirmation, for the green light. Okay, so this is what it looks like, right? So it's when the pivots aren't going anywhere. You could have a little hiccup up, or you could go a little hiccup down, whichever, it doesn't matter. Again, these are areas which I'll go over in a few minutes. This is, I call a FOBO, a fake out breakout. When it goes down, but it doesn't, it fails and then continues into this exhaustion pattern, right? Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I have some questions. I will get to those questions in a few seconds. Let me just get past this particular section. Now, this is again what the consolidation area looks like, right? So it's pretty flat. It's a sideways market. This is not a trend. It is a market. It is not momentum. There is no momentum here, right? And that's what's really, really important. All right, so before I move on, let me get into the question here. What is the bar type I am using? The bar type I'm using is called a tick bar. I use tick charts because I don't know if you guys know what tick charts are, but they are transactions per bar. I use a 610 transaction bar or tick chart, right? So basically, to me, I feel like it's the most real time information, right? So right here, each bar has 610 transactions, meaning it's live. So if you're on a 5-minute chart and the market isn't really moving anywhere, you don't really see the real-time movement. I could sit and watch this bar go right in front of me and I understand what is happening, right? And that is really, really the most important part. So I will get to all the indicators and everything I use. I only use now 2 indicators, which really it's about simplifying. The more indicators you have, the more analysis paralysis you're going to go through. So it's really, really important. Know your areas. This is the most important thing, right? If you do not know your areas, if you do not know where your brake stop is and where your brake pedal is and your accelerator pedal is, you're not moving anywhere. Support and resistance is exactly those pedals. Support, the floor. This is where that trend, that market has hit over and over and over and over and over again. That means that this is an area the market is respecting, and you need to respect it. You need to stay out of it until it tells you otherwise. Resistance, the ceiling. Okay, this is where the market's been going up. Boom. Now all of a sudden you have a flat channeling market. So here you could add a support area so you know where it bounces from. Back and forth, back and forth. Okay, this is what it looks like. You guys need to know what a support and resistance area is. It will change everything for you. This happens. This is called a FOBO. This is a fake out breakout. They suck. Chances are if you take this breakout trade, you will lose, but you also know you cannot continue until you have massive confirmation. They don't happen often, but you do need to understand them. All right, so right here, how do we start to spot these areas? These are my indicators. I use two indicators. These three lines are the same indicator. They are EMA lines, the exponential moving average line, and the MACDs. The MACDs to me have been the least lagging indicators so far that I have used, and I have used tons. I have done so much back testing, research. I mean, it's been nuts. So when I'm seeing divergence and I'm having pretty much the same here, I know that the market is up to something. Here I have a pretty strong movement down, yet the market is telling me that it's about to slow down. I listen to these divergences, and this is what happens. I cannot afford to be on the wrong side of my EMA line. I mainly use this solid line. Look at this. Look at this massive divergence. This is a triple pattern, triple bottom, turn into a quadruple bottom, turn it into a consolidation area, right? So you're already spotting it here. The divergence happens here, and then it continues. So it's basically confirming that you shouldn't be doing anything. Triple top, massive divergence. This is when you need to start listening to it. This is the beginning of that sideways movement, right? How far it's going to go, I don't know. It's not for me to recognize. What I have to understand is that for now, I am recognizing that I need to sit out, okay? Divergence. You need to stay out. I know that a lot of traders use head and shoulders, and I use it a little bit. I have to admit, it's not my favorite reversal pattern, but it is a reconfirmation, right? So basically, head and shoulders is when you have a head and you have shoulders, and it could be done with going up as well. Here's my shoulder, head, and shoulder, right? So it's kind of telling me I'm going to go up. Oh, yes, it's going up. And then I have the shoulder. No, it's not going too far. And then it could change direction. So that's when I do use it, but I use it as a reconfirmation when I already have all my other stuff as well. Okay, so let's talk about breakouts. Okay, so breakout trade is, to me, one of the best trades there is, and it's simply because it could happen in any direction, and being a day trader, it's really important to understand that we can profit as much, maybe even more on the sell when you're going down. I know that a lot of people, excuse me, think that trading is mainly looking for when you buy low, you sell high. You could really short. Shorting is a beautiful thing, meaning that you buy high and you sell low, or sell high, buy low. That makes it really confusing, so I just say that I'm entering here, and I will be getting out around here. So let's talk about a breakout. Here it is a super strong resistance area, right? Like we could spot it. The second, again, in the live market, we don't know that this is happening. All we see is these things happening, right? But once I already see 3 times an area being hit, I've already put in my area, right? And like I mentioned before, overall momentum, this immediate momentum, I will be all over this trade right here, probably another trade right here. So I would get 2 good trades coming in from here already. However, after I see these 3 little hits, guess what? I'm going to be putting in this area right here, because at this point, I don't know if the market is going to go up or if it's going to go down. All I know is a sideways market, and I'm ready for it. I know that this is not someplace that I want to be entering. I have learned that sitting out is probably more important than getting in, especially whimsically, which a lot of people get in, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what a breakout trade is all about. Breakout trade to me is when I'm driving to my friend's house and I have to go north. I know that I live south, she lives north. So this is my road here. Oh, and all of a sudden there's a massive detour. I've just got to follow that detour. And all of a sudden the road opens and says, hey, you could continue north. That is your breakout right here, right? Boom, you are now headed back north. I will get into a trade that when you change direction, I don't call that a breakout anymore. I call it a different trade. So if you're running, let's look at it in a different way, because trends, they have more energy in the beginning than midway, right? It's just normal, because think of yourself, if you want to go jogging, right? When you start to go jogging, you get out the door, you get your shoes on, you are so motivated and inspired, and you've got the most amount of energy. So if I'm going to be betting on your jog, I'm going to bet on you in the beginning the most, right? I'm going to say, this person, she's going at least 3 blocks, and I'm going to put my wager on the first block until the second block, because I know that she's got the most amount of strength, energy, and excitement, right? All of a sudden, so this is what happens midway. It's a lot less, it starts to slow down, you're exhausted, and this is when it's an indecision area. If you're a jogger, you might stop, get some water, drink a Gatorade, and really start to be like, do I want to continue? I'm kind of tired. And if after a little while, you're like, you know what? I am ready. That Gatorade is hitting me. I'm getting my second wind. Boom, right? This to me, excuse me, is that breakout. So when that happens, again, you are fully amped and you're ready to go. The same with the trend. However, breakouts don't usually last, the trends don't usually last as long. So you want to get in as quickly as possible, right? To get in at least one quick, what do you call it? One quick trade, right? So I just want to explain to you, I want to go, I'm going to explain to you why I go in for the smaller areas, right? This is called scalping. So I'll get into that in just a little bit. I just want to show you again my simplicity. Like I've mentioned before, I am huge on simplicity. I only use 2 indicators, right? So it's all done from one monitor. I do not use more than 1 chart anymore. I used to use 3 charts. Way too much movement going on, way too much commotion, analysis paralysis to the umpteenth degree for me. And this is what I use. This is it. This is my entire, I call it my art canvas, right? So I have my 3 indicators right here, and I have my gorgeous MACDs. I love my MACDs. I love them. They are so powerful. So let's just do a quick breakdown of what a MACD is. You have this dotted line right here, and I put these 2 lines here and these 2 lines here. I put them in manually, because when you are in the live market, you do not want to be questioning anything. You want to do quick glances so everything is there for you, right? That's the system. So if I'm seeing that my MACDs are super above these lines, I already know there's massive strength in that new direction. And then I look here, and there's obviously, it's crossed all my lines. And look at this retracement. I always enter on one of my EMA lines, but there's barely any retracement here. That means it is still continuing that direction with strength, right? So this is something super important I want to bring up. A lot of traders or aspiring traders, new traders, they just get it. They're like, oh, the market is going strong right here, I'm going in. But why? What do you mean you're going in? What does that even mean, right? So you have to think of yourself as an archer, right? Trading is a lot like archery. You want to get in, you want to throw your arrow to hit a target, right? So think of an archer. Do you think they just walk around aimlessly on a field? Not necessarily, no, right? It would be really silly if they're walking around and all of a sudden, you know what, this looks good, I'm going to throw my arrow and hit that bullseye from here. No, they have a very, otherwise it's not really a sport, it's kind of just chaos. They have a very strict area where they stand and throw their arrow from, correct? Traders, we need that line in the sand. These are my lines in the sands. I use this purple line and this red line. This is where I throw my arrow, and this is where I have my bullseye. Everything I do is 1 point. So let me just go really, really quickly. I think a lot of you probably are looking and wondering, what is this instrument? What do I do, right? So I trade the ES Mini futures. It is on the futures market. It is the S&P 500 index. So it's not a tangible product, right? It is literally just following the S&P 500 index. Each of these little boxes is worth 1 point. One contract, when you put in one contract, for what each point is $50. You could break that point up into four, which is $12.50, but technically 1 point usually is pretty awesome. So that, it's like right here, this is what I'm talking about, a scalper, right? So I would be all over this trade. And this right here is done in less than 3 minutes, my 1 point target, which is $50 per contract. So if you're going in with 10 contracts, and here, that's the beauty of it, you could have the same strategy in the scalper mode, 1 point, but put in 100 contracts. 10 contracts is $500, right? Same amount of time, same everything. You're still reading the same market. So that's what I do. All right, so let's do a little bit more focus on the actual breakout trade. So we have this massive resistance area, super strong. And then all of a sudden, look at that breakout. Look at that spacing. Boom, I'm in. When it comes to here, I could also look there, but I'm still in that zone area. Enter right there, right? Here's another insane resistance area. Remember, I'm going north, massive detour, and all of a sudden it breaks out. Boom, boom, look at that. Barely, there's like no retracement. I'm so in this. I am already waiting. I never go market. Every single trade, you have to have an order waiting, meaning that you are prepared. You don't just press market, because if you press market, what does that mean? Slippage. I don't know if you guys know what slippage means. Slippage is the market will take you a little bit higher. So if you're only going in for 1 point, which is four ticks, which is $12.50 per tick, slippage will take you into only 2 or 3 when you could have been ready. Because when I see this, I'm already ready right here. So if it retraces, it's going to fill me and it's going to give me my 1 point within minutes. We're talking like 5-10 minutes, right? So it's, but it works with the strategy. All my green lights are lit up, and that's what it has to be about. You have to have your green lights. You have to have that setting. So here's the channel, right? So we've been going down, channel, it didn't go anywhere, and there's a massive resistance area, finally broke through, boom. When you have a channel, this is also a breakout, right? So, like I mentioned before, I want to talk a little bit about another bonus trade setup that I use. It is very similar to a breakout, but in the opposite direction. It is called my initial reaction trade, meaning here is a pretty significant resistance area. We have this mini tiny little support area, but instead of continuing up, it broke through and is now headed, it's a transition area, right? It's headed in the other direction. Look at that. Massive movement down. I know when it's below these lines or on these lines, there is massive strength. Barely, there's like no retracement, and I'm waiting right here, and then it continues down. Okay, this is the initial reaction trade. So you could use it just the same way, especially when you're seeing a consolidation area, a sideways area. Same as here, right? So on this channel, it was a down market. You could see through here, massive down market, a lot of strength here, change direction, boom, and then boom, look at that, look at that, look at that amazing strength. I mean, we're talking insane strength, and I'm in this trade, right? This is what I'm talking about. Again, 1 point, that little box, less than a few minutes. It's quick, but because there is so little chance of things turning on you when you're going for the smaller profits, that it's quicker. And what does that do for you? It gives you massive confidence when you're hitting your smaller targets. It doesn't matter if you're going for a huge target or a smaller target. It's that gazing, right? It's that bing of being filled, right? So when you're being filled on a smaller target, your confidence level is getting stronger. Again, look at that. Massive strength, boom, I'm in. All right, so this is so important. Like the real question really boils down to, do you struggle with your trading plan? Do you guys have a trading plan or a strategy? Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of people do not, and that is the reason why they say 95% of traders fail. All right, so I really need to talk to you guys about this. What is emotional capital, and why is it worth more than the actual capital? Because, and I'm going to say this again, confidence. Think of yourselves in anything. When you're first learning to drive a car, do you guys feel confident? No, you're feeling extremely doubtful. You need somebody to sit next to you and press on that brake just in case, right? And then if you get into an accident, you get into even more lack of self-confidence, right? But when you start to drive and you're making it to your friend's house, to your family over and over again, even if it's only 3 or 4 blocks, that confidence in yourself and your driving technique works. Same as well here. If you are going for these huge targets and you're constantly being stopped out, it doesn't look pretty how big that target could have been. All you know is that you were stopped out, right? And then you have all this horrible self-doubt, this degrading of yourself, belittling. I mean, we traders somehow manage to really hit our mindset and really treat ourselves poorly. And worst of all, when we're sitting in front of the charts and we're not getting those targets, and it's not because we don't know, it's because we doubt ourselves, we make the wrong decisions. What happens? You start to really berate yourself, right? I can't believe I did this. Oh my God. And then the day is over. But do you think your mind ends there? Absolutely not. Your emotional capital is in the negatives, right? So what happens? You take it out on your spouse, on your children, on your dogs, on your friends, because you're angry with yourself, right? And that is emotional capital. And that kills not only yourselves, your lack of your confidence, your relationships. So that's what I notice. If I go for the smaller profits, I don't even care that it's only $50, right? Especially once I start to put in more contracts, because you know what? I am elated. I just made a right decision and it hit my decision. I'm feeling good about myself. And the more I start to feel good about myself, my emotional capital goes up, and that's when my actual capital becomes better. So for me, scalping became the answer. So what is scalping? It's going for smaller profits in a shorter period of time. My normal trade is between 3 to 15 minutes, right? So they're quicker profits, but oh my God, those dings, those green lights going off and getting filled really, really builds up my confidence, and I become a better trader. I become a better person. All right, so and the thing is, to be honest with you, I really can't handle the stress of sitting for a long time. Oh my God, I used to literally get ulcers practically. It was horrible. I was biting my nails, and that made me get out of trades faster. And I was then, berating myself. Why didn't I just stick to it? Look where it went. But the smaller profits, I'm in and out. So I'm okay. I do not care if it goes another 1,000 points. I made my point, and now I'm going to look for the next valid trade. So for me, scalping really became like, it made it fun for me, right? So having a trading plan and strategy is truly, truly the difference between consistent trader and someone who is barely breaking even. Okay, so you got to decide, which one are you? Are you guys profitable and consistent, or are you guys just winging it because you do not have a trading strategy? So I want to talk to you a little bit about my boot camp for day trading, where you will learn how to read the market and the trading charts under any condition, and that will be all the difference, right? When you have a plan that you can completely trust, and it does not matter what the market is doing because you are prepared. You are not just winging it. You cannot just wing it, people. You cannot. You need a plan. And if you don't know the basics, if you don't understand what support, resistance area, reversals are, divergences, I'll be honest with you, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No matter what market you trade, this is the language, right? This is the basic language. It's like you're being a music student. If you do not know your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, or A, B, C, D, E's, or the scales, you are never going to pass just finger tapping on the keys, right? Now, you want to be traders, right? This is what you got to learn. I teach this in my boot camp. Normally $297 is 50% off for you guys, for people participating, $148. Okay, it could be taught on any device, and it could also be from anywhere in the world. So just a quick recap of what you will be getting here. First of all, everything you need to know to start. Setting up your charts. Like I mentioned, if you do not have a chart, you don't even pretend that you're going to be a trader. It's not going to happen. And I know that charts could be very intimidating. It took me almost 5 months to figure mine out. Oh, it was horrible. Nobody was helping me. Even though I was paying $3,000 to $5,000 for academies, they weren't helping me. They expected me to know that. So I actually have tutorials for a couple of different charting platforms that will help you get your charts up and running within 15 minutes. You will learn about trending markets, market momentum, sideways markets, market shifts, reversal areas, divergences, and breakouts. Okay. So on top of all this, right now, what I'm doing is I'm giving one entire month of free, included one-on-one support. You guys, what it is you send me your charts as a personal feedback, one-on-one coaching support. You are not going to get that anywhere else. So here's a couple of my student testimonials. I have students from all over the world because you could trade from all over the world. That is the beauty of trading. All right, here is a couple of my students that you can learn about and what they're saying, and I'm going to just do a quick look at the questions because it looks like I have a couple of questions. Okay, so here are some more of my testimonials. You know what? It's all about the feedback. That one feedback, that one month of support working with me, I can guarantee your trading will completely be transformed. Okay, and the aha moments, because I can guarantee a lot of us don't even know the basics, the trends, the reversal patterns. So, 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 so important. Okay, quick answer here, Charles. So because I am a scalper, I go for 1 point, meaning that's all I do. I am a 1-to-1 risk reward, right? 1-to-1, because at this point, my trades that I'm looking at are 90% wins. I'm very conservative. I know exactly what I'm getting in. My strategy is so crystal clear. Me and you could be walking down a path and you'll ask me my strategy and I will tell you exactly what I look for. And if it doesn't work, I'm not getting in. So I go in 1-to-1. That's what I do. So this is really important, you guys. You can do this. I guarantee you can do this, but you have to begin from the basics. 1 month working lifetime access, 1 free month with me, thetraderchick.com/bootcamp. Okay, thetraderchick.com/bootcamp. Go here right now. You guys are getting 50% off. And to be honest with you, as of last year, it was the last that I did with my support, the free support. But I am offering it only to you guys who I know have come here today on a Saturday. The most precious commodity that we have in our lives is time. You cannot get that back. And the fact that you are giving me your time right now to present shows me that you are really serious, right? So $148 for learning, understanding how to read the charts, understanding all the basics, the fundamentals of reading these charts, understanding, and it doesn't matter which market you're trading, all talk the same language. If you guys are interested in really, really diving into the E-minis, into the ES minis, I also have a course that I teach, and it is also 50% off for you guys. You could just write me at thetraderchick.com at Gmail, and I will be happy to talk to you about it. It actually offers 6 months one-on-one, because at that point we really get into the trade setups, the trade strategy. I mean, we really, really, really get into it all, right? But it's 100% E-minis. And we go through all of that. And it's really important. Like I mentioned before, I have a lot of businesses, multi-income streams that I have going on for me through my travel sites, through trading, through helping you guys trade. It is not a job. This is a lifestyle, and it is so doable, and anybody could do it. I was a fitness instructor before and a travel writer. It's done. I have zero knack for finances, economics, or math. None. I can't figure any of that out. I mean, I need to have a calculator with me everywhere I go. You don't need to do that, right? So I just want to go really quickly here. Show you how it looks in the real market, obviously today. So the E-mini, just a quick understanding, the E-mini is a 6-day a week market. It's almost 24 hours. It closes for 15 minutes. Saturdays is the only day it's not on, so it's no live stuff going on. I know that you guys were interested in my bars, so this is what the bars look like, and then I have this counter attached to it, so I know exactly how many transactions are happening, right? It counts down, so when it's at 0, boom, it changes bar. But if it's going super crazy slow, I know that. I see it in real time. Okay, so let's take a look here. This is what my charts look like. So here, for instance, is a very evident sideways market, right? Because in the sideways market here, and this is my MACDs right here, right? So I'm starting to see already from here there is massive divergence. I will be in right here. After that, I'm sitting out. There's absolutely no reason for me to get into any more trades because it's telling me something's about to happen. Why would I not listen to the market? Like I said, I'm very, very conservative. I'm done. I don't have any interest in getting into this trade. So now I wait because right now there's just indecision, indecision, indecision. Oh, look at that. Look at that massive run down. I will now have my order waiting right here, waiting for that to happen, right? And boom, I got my 1 point. Okay, and then also I have to look where it is. I normally have my lines here right now, but on a weekend I don't really put that in. And then it continues down, still no real divergence. All of a sudden, massive divergence, and then boom, changes direction. I will now be looking to enter going up. All right, so let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to show you some more right here. Hang on a second. I see. Oh, okay. Okay, so the question is my stop. Like I mentioned before, my stop is always 1 point. You see right here? 1 point. I go in for 1 point risk, 1 point reward. That's all I go for. But my chances of making it are really high. Look at that. I could see right here, massive movement. No retracement whatsoever. I am so in this. Look at that. So in this. Boom. I got my 1 point. Within that, probably not even a minute. Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's what scalping is. Scalping has been my savior. Really has been my savior. So basically, that's what I just wanted to show you guys really quickly what this looks like. And I would love, even if you just have some questions, please send them my way, thetraderchick.com or thetraderchick@gmail.com. Remember, it's 50% off, $148. You really cannot go wrong. And the fact that you get me for 1 entire month, one-on-one feedback. You send me your charts because it's all about the charts, right? Think of yourself, if you want to be a basketball player, it doesn't matter how many videos you watch, how many presentations you go to, how many books you read. If you're not on that court dribbling that ball and shooting that ball, you're never going to be a basketball player. If you are not opening your charts and working those charts and practicing those charts, you're not going to be a trader. So don't even pretend. My course makes you do that, and you send it to me so you are accountable and you get real feedback of what you are doing. Okay, so please let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. And remember, I also have my E-mini course that I could help you with the strategy for the E-mini. It's also 50%. I do trade in the afternoon. The market has, I have a question of if I trade in the afternoon. The market has 2 main sessions that are the most volatile, but it goes through the night. It's a morning session, afternoon session, and then evening session. So you could trade any of those. The evening session is just a lot slower because there's a lot less people in it, right? Okay, Ron, yes, Teddy will be sending over the recording for everybody. And Ron, please send me an email and I'll make sure that you also get it, okay? So here is my email, and anybody could please send me your questions. I posted it in the chat box, thetraderchick gmail.com. And my time is up, and I just wanted to say thank you very, very much for being here. It really means a lot to me. Rhonda, you could scalp anything as long as you have a strategy, okay? Strategy will be everything, period. And again, please let me know if you have any questions, thetraderchick@gmail.com. And thank you so much for your time, and happy Saturday. And thank you, Teddy, for having me.